What's going on YouTube? It's your boy MT2 Gaming back with another video, and today I'm here to talk about the Switch 2. Now, I wasn't able to live stream or record my initial reaction to the Switch 2, so that's why I'm making this video. Just want to say first, I am doing this off script, so if I repeat myself, do some weird, that's why. And also, I believe that I should have an opinion on this because, you know, I'm 15. I'm the target demographic, you know. It's for 15, the kids, you know, teen, not 15. It's for the, you know, the target demographic for most Nintendo stuff is like teen to like kids or children, you know, the family, you know, just that in general. So I believe that I should have a say in this. Anyways, first thing I want to talk about is the price of the Switch 2. That price of Switch 2 is $450. And when I first saw that, I was like, whoa, that's kind of wild, don't you think? And then I took a step back and I'm like, this is an extremely powerful portable console or hybrid console. I'm actually fine with the price, you know, I'm actually fine with the price. Now I know I'm not paying for it because I'm 15 and I still don't have a job, but I think the price is that's a fine price point for the Switch 2. I know most people are like, oh, well, it shouldn't be that because, you know, it's not current standard, you know, it's only 60 frames per second 4K. It's a giant jump from the Switch, or I can tell you that. The Switch was, what, 720p 30 frames per second at like only like a few games, because like Breath of the Wild run like 10 or 20 at most times. So this is a huge leap. So I'm fine with this pricing point. And also, not much power for me to like go around with it, play on the go, and then play at home as well. Like, that I'm fine with that price point. And then the bundle is what, 500? That's a bit, but also fine with it. I mean, the PS5 was 500, but then again, people are like, oh, well, the PS5 like high standard. It has no exclusives though, so I wonder how y'all doing with that. But next thing, I want to talk about the price of the accessories. Hold up, I have it up right next to me. So the price of the Pro Controller for the Switch 2 is $80. Now, I don't know who Nintendo thinks they are. I mean, I get it. They just had the best-selling console ever, you know, the Switch. If y'all didn't know, it beat the PS2 or PS3, whoever it was. But y'all controller ain't no $80. The PS5 controller is only $70, and it's a really good controller. I have first-hand experience experiencing the Pro Controller on the Switch and the PS5 controller. Drastic difference in quality. But looking at the Switch 2 Pro Controller, I don't think it has the $80 price tag. I don't think it should have that. I think it should be $60. That's what I believe. The same with the Joy-Con. Now the Joy-Cons, the left and right Joy-Cons together, are $90 MSRP. I'm saying MSRP because I searched it up because, again, I'm not in like economics or business or anything like that. You know, I'm just a kid. And this is all my opinion. Maybe half the stuff I say in this video is completely wrong. This is just my opinion. But $90 for left and right Joy-Con, that is a little too expensive. Not even a little, that's too expensive. Just point blank, period. Alright, so I'm praying that the leaks are true and that has Hall effect, you know, joysticks, so it doesn't have stick drift as easily anymore. But still, I am not paying $90. I don't think anyone wants to pay $90 for something that's for one console. Like, at least when you're buying like a PS5 controller, you're buying it so you can play on a PS5 with it, you can play on a PC with it, you can play on multiple things using a PS5 controller. But a Switch Joy-Con controller is for the Switch, so it shouldn't be $90. Like, it has like some special stuff in it, a lot of stuff crammed into it, but like still, that's crazy. That's a crazy pricing. And then we have the, the freaking charging grip. Now finally you can charge your Joy-Cons on the freaking grip. I just thought that was so stupid that you couldn't do that. It had that little thing on the top where you can like hang it, I guess, but that was really it. But $35, I think it can go for $25, me personally. That's what I believe. Again, I'm considering the fact that I have 3 younger brothers. 2 of them are 10, 1 of them is 5. They're bound to break stuff, alright? Since Nintendo's turning this towards families, they know that kids are bound to break stuff. So pricing it this high is a bit risky because then kids' parents are like, if it's this expensive, why am I letting my clumsy child handle this? I'm not gonna get it at all. Because the parents have other things to do besides play games with the kids, alright? The Joy-Con straps, 12, I think it should be priced at like 10, maybe $7. I mean, again, it's just a piece of plastic with whatever's on the bottom to make it slide easier. And the Joy-Con sets, wheel sets, they're $20. Then there's 2 of them, so I think that's fine. $10 for each. That's fine. I agree with that. Then the Nintendo Switch 2 camera. When I first saw this, I'm like, why did we have this? Nintendo we never needed a camera, all right? And also, I'm not sure if the trailer actually shown the actual camera, since I know a lot of companies like showing like a higher quality camera, and then when you get the actual thing, it's dog water. But I'll just have to wait and see to really get my price on my opinion, or you get my opinion on the price of the Switch 2 camera. I'll wait until I see like actual real footage, not no Nintendo trailer. All right. Now, what's the next thing I'm gonna talk about? The price of the Mario Kart. Let me get this off first. I love the look of the Mario Kart. I love that it's open world. I love that you can like travel. We have to travel to each new race. That's amazing. That's epic. But what isn't though is the price. $80 for digital, $90 for physical. Now, that is insane. Alright, this is a family game. Oh, this is for the family, this is for friends. Not everyone has parents or themselves have had the time to be throwing out $80 to $90 for a Mario Kart game. Now, Mario Kart is amazing, it's beautiful, but no Mario Kart game will ever be good enough to be costing $90 to $80. That's you're out of your mind at that point. Then you have the Donkey Kong game, the Bonanza. I like that game, but also why is it $70? You tell me Mario Kart is gonna have more stuff and more content and more fun than, you know, the open world Donkey Kong game where you can destroy the level? That makes no sense in my head whatsoever than the pricing. Now, I'm just gonna have to pray as they lower the pricing. I mean, I'm probably gonna buy the games, you know, when it goes on like sale or something like that. But like, this pricing it's crazy. Like, I know that there's tariffs and stuff, but there's no reason. If Nintendo's so confident in themselves, there's no reason to put the price that high. And then they're setting a precedent for other freaking games to put their price that high, and that's not good at all. Because the more you do that, the more you're doing this, that means the more you're gonna lose people trying to buy your games. And all that stuff. At least that's what I think in my head. Again, I'm not in business or anything like that. This is just all from what I think off of my head. And also, I'll talk about another thing. Is the people who are mad about the battery life of the Switch 2 and also the pricing point. Now, y'all can say that, oh, the Steam Deck is better, or I'm just gonna parody because I don't want to buy no Switch 2. Okay, and let's take a step back here. You're mad, so the battery life of the Switch 2 is 2 hours to 6.5 hours, if I'm correct. And the version 1 of Switch is 2.5 hours to 6.5 hours. Now, if y'all didn't look in the trailer, the Switch 2 is the same thickness as the first Switch. Now, if y'all didn't know anything about, you know, energy and stuff like that, or just basic energy laws and stuff like that, you would know that when you have more power being exported, you more power being inputted. Now, because the only thing that has changed is the length of the console, they can't add that much battery. Gotta put space for all the other components, and also because the heat being generated is gonna make the battery be more taxing on the battery and the fan and everything else in the system. So of course the battery life is going to be low. Like, it makes no sense. You want Nintendo to break the laws of physics to make it like extremely powerful for it to and have a lot of battery life? Like, no, it's not your phone, guys. It's not your phone. Speaking of which, the Joy-Cons, when they connect to the side of the screen, I remember at first seeing people say, "Oh, it might break. It might break." Y'all have a phone? All right. I know y'all can't see me, but if you look at a phone charger and see how small that is, and see the hole it's getting put into, see how that doesn't break so easily, and that's not magnetic. How kids usually, I mean, of course, for me, usually, it doesn't break that easily. So what do you think is gonna happen when you have a magnet on it as well? It's probably not gonna break. So calm down on that. Like that take really made me mad, because I'm like, have you ever used a phone charger, computer charger, or you guys this is that clumsy, or your kids that clumsy? That made me extremely mad. But anyhow, all that aside, I'm excited for this console. I was excited for the console when I first heard of it. The price kind of shifted me away from it, but it's usually on the price of the games. I'm fine with everything else with this system. Of course, I know the people people who are still mad about the price of the Switch 2 in the games. The games I get, price of the Switch 2 don't get, because name another portable console just as good as it. Like with the 1200 hertz screen, 60 FPS, 4K, 1200 FPS. Oh, yeah, 1200 FPS. Oh, 120 FPS. My bad. Oh my gosh, 120 FPS in 1080p for 2 to 6 hours of battery life, and even then, it's probably counting like things like, you know, Elden Ring, Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, stuff like those. And again, it might vary because, you know, some games aren't the Tears of the Kingdom, Breath of the Wild. Sometimes I like playing Undertale. I mean Deltarune. That ain't gonna make the freaking Switch die 6.5 hours in. Of course not, because it's not loading that much stuff. Anyways, I do believe that Nintendo is being very greedy as a company right now. And I know, like, again, tariffs and stuff like that, and a bunch of other things that have to go with it. Again, I might be completely wrong about all the stuff I said in this video. I don't care though. But you can't keep doing this. You can't keep doing this. Like, I'm listening to my friends who are talking about Switch 2, and I realize that some of them are not gonna be able to buy them. I have to wait for Christmas or something like that, get like 2 games, and not be able to buy any other games, because guess what? You paid for an $80 to $90 game and a $450 console. Actually, no, let me back it up. $450 again. Fine with that. But still, the game price. We're just gonna have to pray that Nintendo listens, because if y'all didn't know, I'll probably pull up a screenshot. Nintendo recently added, "We're listening" to the Twitter profile. So if they're listening, they'll put, you know, the prices down. And I'm praying so, because all the prices right now are sold at MSRP. So we have this slither of a chance to get stuff, you know, cheaper and not $80 a game. And also, one other thing, speaking of the games, why are there game keys? What was the point of that? Like, I was really confused when I first saw that. I'm still confused on what it even is, actually. I'll search it up later, but still, why do we have game key cards or whatever it's called? That seems kind of dumb, at least to me. Anyways, that's all I have to say about the Switch 2. I might make a part 2 of this video if I think of anything else. Make sure y'all stay safe, and I'll see you next time. Peace.